It's Mario Kart Monday.
It's Mario Kart Monday. Let's race.
Hooray.
Let's talk about this video game in depth. Let's explore this video game today. We're going to talk about Mario Kart for the entire duration.
Oh.
No deviation. We're not getting off track, if you know what I mean. We're never going to change course. If you catch my if you catch my drift. Fuck.
My soul just died a little, I think.
Woo! I fucking nailed it. I'm on a roll. Oh, God, have mercy. Oh, what are you gonna choose today? Oh, the same stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, welcome to Mario Kart.
Welcome to Mario Kart.
Our weekly segment where I semi-pay attention to the game, and then we just talk about weird shit.
Yep.
Last week, we talked about sort of a little internet niche that I'm more familiar with, so this week, let's talk about something you're familiar with.
Okay. So, I know that during the planning meeting we had at the headquarters yesterday,
for Master Questers LLC.
Yeah, for Master Questers LLC, we initially were going to talk about sexy Dungeons and Dragons books, but I couldn't find a PDF of them so easily online. It turns out that they're a lot more niche than I had imagined. So
not gonna use it for your next campaign?
No. Well, maybe. But
Aesthetic.
Has a great name. DH Habits. But sort of like, I don't know if this topic will sustain us for the entirety of the stream, but I've sort of been working on a joke game for Indiecade.
Nice.
Again. And it involves one of the worst webcomics ever made.
Oh.
And so I thought maybe we could get into that. Now,
okay.
Chelsea, I just want to ask you, sort of, what's your background on webcomics? How familiar are you with the medium?
Not super extensive. I've read a few, but it's not something I'm that familiar with.
And what's an example of a webcomic you have read?
I read Fair-Haired Adventure Seekers, and It Sucks to Be Ouija.
What is It Sucks to Be Ouija?
It's by the same person who did Fair-Haired Adventure Seekers, and it's basically just a day in the life of Luigi. And it's both sad because it's people.
Baby Bark.
Oh no, it's a lot of people shitting on Luigi, but it does a good job of Luigi himself being endearing.
Is this comic just sort of each one sort of a one-off, or is it contiguous?
Most of them are one-offs. There are a few that are sort of continuous.
Now, I think I might have read this webcomic a little bit. Is this the one? I feel like the thing I remember the most about it is the artist made Daisy double C thick in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read some of that actually.
Her thing was she was a little chubby and constantly trying to get in shape like Peach.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen this thing that you're referencing actually. Okay.
I actually haven't read it in a long time. I wonder if there are new strips.
I don't know Fair-Haired Adventures. I've never heard of that.
Fair-Haired Adventure Seekers is by the same person, and it's basically little shenanigans of the Four Swords Adventures links.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah. Is that pretty much cover it? Your background?
Recently I read this one called OMG Check Please. That's really good. It's about this college student who was a figure skater, but now he's joined the hockey team at his new college.
What?
And he's this cinnamon roll southern guy who's it has a lot to deal with. He's sort of dealing with his sexuality and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good. It's really cute and well written and drawn.
Gotcha.
And it has a lot to do with like sort of it's sort of a fraternity. It's like his team, but
Yeah.
like their camaraderie and just being pals and stuff.
Okay.
It's nice. It's good. I
Yeah.
recommend.
That sounds cute. That sounds like a fun time. So
Ooh.
now I don't literally pay attention to webcomics so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Oh, I reckon you should.
Hold on.
Ah, I can't see.
You'll be fine.
I ran into a train.
Oh. I'll pass in front. You ready? Alright, here we go. Okay. So, like I was about to elucidate, I haven't really read webcomics recently. But I did read them a lot in high school and sort of a little bit in college for a while. Now, did you ever read like little, just regular comics when you were a kid?
Like, Archie comics?
Like any comics, like Archie or Peanuts.
Yeah.
Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah. I read the funnies and I read Archie and I read. I didn't get into manga until I was a little older.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So this is all gonna tie in together, I promise.
Okay. I trust you.
So yeah. So when I was a kid, I read a lot of that good classic antics of that sweet chubby kitty cat, the Garf.
Yeah.
And I had a piece of creative software on my parents' Macintosh that like ripped a lot of assets out of Garfield comics and let you make your own Garfield comics. It was all like, you know, very much like for children to make children's comics.
Right.
So that was like a, hey, oh wait, that's not Leland.
No.
Okay, I look kind of like him. He had the same hair. It takes so yeah, so it's basically like a comic creator. Okay, now, have you ever played the game Exquisite Corpse?
No.
Okay. Exquisite Corpse is like a party game you play with friends where like you start a drawing, then you hand it over to someone and then they draw a little bit and they hand it over to someone else and they draw a little bit until it comes all the way back around and you see what everybody sort of collaborated on. So I'm working on a game that's like that. It's like Exquisite Corpse, except you're making each panel of a comic.
It's kind of like when you do that, each person says a sentence of a story.
Yeah. But I'm ripping all the assets from the worst webcomic that most people know about.
Is that the one with like
Yep.
the guy who got his wife like had stillborn child? Or
That is
something?
exactly the
Yeah.
one.
Even I've heard of that one, though I don't know what it's called and I've never read it. But I've heard of it.
It's called Control-Alt-Delete, and it's the worst thing on the internet. Yeah, I mean,
Are you legally allowed to do that?
I don't know. Was I legally allowed to do that thing with Seinfeld?
Well, that's parody.
Okay, then this is parody. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not selling it for money. And like, I don't know, plenty of people, I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I don't know the legality of it. And that's kind of just the end of that answer. But, so have you seen the like actual stillborn child comic itself?
Yes. Along with various parodies of it.
completely. But in the original, how'd you feel about that guy's art style?
I mean, wasn't a reason a lot of people also disliked it, other than just the content, was because a lot of it was just he took the same pieces of art and sort of just used them over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. Not dissimilar to, now I'm making it so everyone can do that. Yeah, no, that's a thing that he did, but it's also like just bad art in itself. Mm-hmm. And so like in the process of making this game, I must have read like just hundreds of his comics at this point, and it's really like it's making my life bad. It's making me a angrier and more cynical person. He has this comic that is kind of famous, less so than the one where his wife has a miscarriage. Mm-hmm. But it's so in the lore, in this universe that the creator Tim Buckley has set up, his Xbox has turned into a robot. Mm-hmm. And they want to go to the movies with it, but they can't bring the robot into the movie theater for some reason. Mm-hmm. So they disguise the robot as a human somehow. Now, I mean, they, just incidentally, the robot is disguised as a black man. Mm. And sort of the punchline, which I'm not going to repeat, is just extremely racist. Mm. And he does a lot of that stuff. He's like a notorious racist and sexist and like the everythingist. Ooh, hell yeah, Baby Park.
Ugh. Where is everybody?
I don't know. Probably playing Splatoon, dude.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I like this golden-haired nightmare.
Yeah.
Back in the heyday, back in 2005, also, there's a big controversy that he was at the center of. Because on his forum that he was sort of the moderator and the administrator of for his comic, he had fans. Amazingly, somehow he had fans. I can't even believe the world we live in where like a guy like that has fans.
Yeah. But
he has fans nonetheless. A surprisingly wide array of fans. So there was one of his fans was a girl, and he like sent dick pics to them over the forum. Just to give you sort of a taste of what this creative madman's personal life is like.
Yeah.
Which I think if you have that level of notoriety, if you send dick pics, you have to understand that your dick is now on the internet.
Yeah.
So which also in preparation for this game, I had the extreme displeasure of having to see his penis.
Ugh. Is that gonna be in the game?
No, that's gonna be in the game. Jesus Christ, no. I want this game to be fun to interact with in some way, not just like completely like
It's the bad ending.
Yeah, it's the bad ending. If you make a comic and the fucking algorithm decides your comic sucks.
You make a racist comic, that's your prize.
Your prize is you get to see fucking Tim Buckley's penis.
Oh, crap.
But anyway, he got in deep shit about that because it ended up that fucking member of his
FBI
forum.
agent.
Not an FBI agent, but like not 18. Sadly, for us all, he did not go to jail. I mean, so I mean, there's like, the thing is that there's like a few like real deep trows, but like most of it is just like this mediocre valley of garbage. I've never like read comedy writing so predictable and like unfucking inspired. Like, do you know sort of the premise of this comic?
No.
Okay, so it's like a, you know, very popular in the mid-aughts. There's like two gamers on a couch and they talk about video games. I don't know why anyone would want to watch two people talk about video games sitting on a couch. That sounds very trite. But hey, good job.
Thanks.
So fucking there's like his self-insert character, which is, and this ties back into last week, a Mary Sue.
Yeah. Like
just real big time.
Gary Stu.
Yeah, a Gary Stu can do no wrong, even though like he's one of those like characters who's like a comedy sociopath. Everybody loves him for no reason. He's got his friend who's like straight man, not funny, just there to like sort of be a lens through which we see the main character's wacky antics.
Right.
And then like the third sort of like main character is his girlfriend, who is like the very like arms crossed, like, oh, you can't believe you did the thing.
Yeah.
All right, like hands on the hips, arms crossed, very like, what do you do? What's it this time?
It's very just really bad, canned left sitcom. It's tropey.
Yeah, it's very like classic dudes wrote a woman character in their comedy.
Right.
And they totally understand women.
Yeah.
Type deal. And I mean, like, just you watching, like, not watching. He did have enough money to pay someone to make an animated series about it, which, oh my god, dude. Oh god. I've never even dreamed of something so horrible. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's just really trite and awful, and if you, like, read it, it, like, gets on your nerves really bad. Like, he has this really good, drawing of Blink that is very popular on the internet as another example of why he's just the worst. Let me see if I can pull it up for you really quick. You know, I know it's probably for the best, but sometimes I do wish you could drop, like, images into the Twitch chat and it would show the image and not just the hyperlink.
Yeah. I'm sure if anyone wants to, they can Google it.
Yeah, maybe I'll like put the link in chat real quick. I'll really just fuck up the whole like aesthetic of the stream by kneeling in front of our computer and being off camera and being out of position on the mic. I'm really just
aesthetic.
I'm really just aggravating like all the things I hate about watching other streams. I'm committing all the sins.
How could you do this to us?
I know. Oh, hey, what?
What?
Our, looks like our Google's in, like, Japanese, maybe?
What?
I think this is Japanese.
Are you using the PSN? Or VPN, I mean?
Oh, I might be.
Oops.
The PSN.
PSN. Ow.
It's real good.
Oh.
He's a real artist, Chelsea.
Ooh. That's just his character with Link's hair.
Yeah. Well, that's all his characters
Yeah.
are just the same guy with different hair. It's just really impressive. Oi. So, I don't know how else to explain it. I feel like I've explained honestly it pretty thoroughly, and like any sort of like continued description of Control Alt Delete would just be like more of the same.
I think I get it.
Yeah.
Just like the comic, more of the same.
Right, exactly. Kind of the same joke, except for I think like 14 years now.
Is it still going?
Yeah, he's still making it.
Why?
Well, because for money.
I know.
You think people like have the self-awareness to stop a creative pursuit once it's gone stale?
No.
No.
I wish.
Yeah, me too, but, you know, next summer, Transformers 6.
Oh.
The War for Death Godtroid. Do you have any, like, good questions for me?
Like, I like the idea. I think it sounds a lot of fun. I wonder, since you don't care about, like, copyright and stuff, if it might also be fun to not just do... Like, I know the point is because it's a shitty comic. But I feel like the idea could also be fun if you use, like, other sorts of IPs, too.
That could be interesting. Originally, I was just gonna do it with Garfield and just call the website the Garfpool. Hey C Dewey.
Hey C Dewey.
Hey C Dewey, we're talking about Control Alt Delete. Do you have any hot takes? And I thought about that. The thing is that like, I'm not. The only other like really terrible, only other really terrible webcomics I'm familiar with at all are there's this one called The Least I Could Do, which is like I haven't ever read it. Yeah, Buckley. I haven't ever read Least I Can Do because it like sounds terrible. I've like read like a couple comic strips of it, but it's like kind of just about like about I don't know, just a shitty guy who's trying to fuck. And he just comes off as like an enormous asshole, and it's like, here's a comic about a character that I hate. I think he's like a punching bag for almost everyone. Because his comic sucks. And his art is bad, and he's lazy. But that being said, sort of back to what we're talking about, I think it might be interesting, like, to have a few, like, pieces here and there of other, like, notoriously Garbo comics. Maybe it would be okay to, like, throw in maybe just one single art asset of John Arbuckle. Or, Marmaduke. Yeah, that's his face. You gotta do the carrot, though. B to the U is actually something I considered calling the game also. I don't know. Chelsea or anyone in chat, can you give me like a good like suggestion for like another really terrible webcomic?
I'm not that familiar with webcomics.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's one webcomic I read in like high school that I kind of liked, but it was definitely weird and like, especially in like retrospect, it was really weird because it was like, it was basically a fan comic, and you know, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
Yes.
I found this webcomic, and it was basically kind of like anime style, and they were adults, and it was this, it was pretty messed up. It was like this, AAU, I guess, where, like, when they became adults, Mandy married the Grim Reaper, and they had 2 children.
How does that even fucking work?
Well, like, I remember one of the really fucked up parts in the comic was the son finding out, like, the way that he was born was because by an abortion or something. And, like, it was like very anime, but in the worst ways.
It feels like it was very hot topic.
Yeah. And like, cause the sister had like a weird anime-esque love for her brother, and like the brother was creeped out by it, but like I remember their whole kind of character arcs to begin with was that she was sort of the perfect child that everyone liked, and was like the talented one and stuff, and he was always really jealous, but she loved him, and something happened where he almost died, so she basically sacrificed herself, and she was sort of like human looking, and I think he was like a skeleton looking guy, but because she did that, now she looked kind of like a zombie, so then he felt guilty about that, so it was a weird. I don't remember a whole lot.
Chris Dewey says that there is a very famous in-depth Zutara fan comic called How I Became Yours.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Which, like, fan stuff is interesting. I imagine I could get a little bit of mileage maybe out of throwing, like, maybe Sasuke Uchihara in the assets. Maybe Shadow the Hedgehog, Goku will probably feel right at home.
Yeah.
Jack Skeleton. Like, basically, like, anything you might find at a Hot Topic, I think, would be a pretty good one.
I read a pretty cool fan comic that was basically, it was Ocarina of Time in an alternate universe where Ganon won before the events of Ocarina of Time. So, like, Link grew up, like, he became the king and he took Zelda as his ward, and Link grew up as sort of like his sort of prodigy, best soldier. And then, and they, you know, they thought, they didn't think Ganon was evil. But then later on, Link meets like the Sheikah resistance and sort of starts to realize Ganon is evil.
Right.
And then there's this whole thing with, it was really ambiguous whether, because Sheikah's in it, and it's really ambiguous whether Sheikah was Zelda in disguise and Zelda was just pretending to like Ganon, or if Sheikah was a completely different person in this AU.
Chris, I have read Pills Gets Trolled, and I'm pretty sure that is just parody.
make a shortcut. Or maybe he did.
He never. Oh.
It was hard to tell. He kind of went off screen.
I think we briefly talked about Tails gets trolled on the channel.
No. Anything else?
I'm trying to think of like another webcomic or like an IP that would be fun to make fun of.
Oh crap! I meant to throw that behind me. You.
I'm working on basically sort of like this exquisite corpse game where you're like handed a blank canvas and like a bunch of assets from Control Alt Delete, and you make the first panel of a comic, and then you hand it off to someone else who's playing, and then they make the second panel. Rinse and repeat until you have 4 panels, and then you see the whole comic.
Would it be like you do it with other people who are with you, or is it just online with strangers?
I think you can work the functionality out to where both are fine. But probably the thing I'd work on first would be like, you would do it with people with you. It would work out to where like, it'd be on the browser of your device, and you would get like either a blank canvas or the previous panel, and you would keep sending it. It would work kind of, but not really, like a Jackbox game. I've been really trying to make something in this JavaScript framework called Angular for a while now, and I think this is like my favorite idea. And I want to try and have it done in time for Indiecade.
When is Indiecade?
Indiecade's in October. It'd be nice if I could have it done in time for PAX Dev, which is in August. But that might be a big ask. I don't know what the Arthur comic generator is. I've heard of like other stuff like the Garfield comic generator. Which is funny sometimes. Sort of in a monkeys in a typewriter kind of way. Hey, Rogue One.
Hey, Rogue One.
Oh yeah. No, I was basing it off of something similar but for Garfield. Oh no shit. 4chan made some reprehensible things with a children's toy. Somehow, I'm not surprised.
What?
What? I guess sort of the thing I've been thinking about is that there's another webcomic that's pretty punching bagged, but I think for sort of the wrong reasons. There's this webcomic that's made by someone who's clearly very mentally handicapped. That is maybe one of the main reasons why I think the internet shouldn't exist. So that I don't know. So that anonymous people can't make fun of the mentally handicapped.
Oh crap.
But it's essentially a combination of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pokemon. And it's, well, it's just a shame that it showed up on the internet one day.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people's lives would be a whole lot better now if that wasn't an extant thing. Yeah, it's honestly it's pretty infamous on the internet, C. Dewey. Mostly because
Leland is here in the race.
Hooray! Mostly because the creator doesn't shy away from just very explicit sex with Sonic characters.
Oh.
But nevertheless, I mean, that's shit's obviously not gonna go in my game for just a whole multitude of reasons. One, because it's wrong, and two, because I don't think it'll make the game more fun to play.
Please put in the that one panel from One Punch Man where he's just okay.
Okay.
And he's got the deadpan look on his face. And not the one from the anime, the original.
The original egg one or whatever.
The original, and yeah, not the one from the manga, the one from the original webcomic. It even counts because it's a webcomic.
Yeah. That's a really good question, Red Arrow, and I think you are. Red Arrow asks the question, and to go a little off topic, if Red Arrow weighs 99 pounds, which, I mean, I don't know anything about you, but maybe go see a doctor. And he eats 1 pound of nachos. Does that make him 1% nachos?
Wait, what?
So, Red Arrow, in this theoretical world, he's 99 pounds. And then he's gonna eat 1 pound of nachos. Where are you gonna get that? But he's gonna eat 1 pound of nachos. Is he 1% nachos after he eats it?
I guess temporarily. But until, because the weight would get broken down in your stomach, right? Is that how it works?
I don't honestly know. I mean, the, nachos get turned into, goo in your stomach.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes them weigh less. I guess it depends on if you still would consider that food content in your stomach you.
Integer parse int says that he would still be 99% Red Arrow with just a single pound of nachos, sort of separated from his being. I mean, I guess in a way, really, you're more just very minute percents of all of the things you've eaten, since that's what your body uses for fuel and to build organic matter with. I think at the end of the day, maybe you'd end up being like 0.0001% nachos. And then most of that pound of nachos would just go away into the toilet.
And up until like the race before this, I was getting like consistently third and second place.
Yeah. I jinxed you with all my bad internet tomfoolery. There you have it, kids. Don't eat nachos. It'll make you fat. You heard it here first. Unless it's with, you know, organic nachos.
Yeah.
Those can't possibly hurt you. They're organic. When is Taco Bell gonna sell organic Nacho Bel Grande? Huh? Come on.
Should go pitch that.
Yeah. Hey Taco Bell, I got a great idea for you. You know how millennials, those sick fucks,
fucking millennials,
are trying to eat healthy and aren't patronizing your fucking food, your restaurant adjacent establishment? Just call it an organic chalupa. Locally sourced cheesy gordita crunch. They'll love it. They'll be like, oh yeah, this Crunchwrap Supreme is ethical. Guilt-free Crunchwrap Supreme. That 1.011% of this beefy 7-layer burrito goes to fight disease in the Taco Bell restrooms. Oh, you're invisible. I actually had another topic we could jump to that I thought of today. And that question is the simple question of, and maybe like it's a little mean-spirited, so if you don't want to go into it, then we don't have to.
Okay.
But which fandom is the most obnoxious?
Oh. Currently?
Well, so let's say currently, and then also, in your experience ever.
My gut reaction is Super Hulock.
Super Hulock?
Yep.
So, I assume that it has to do with. Wait, Super Hulock?
Yep.
Is that like Sherlock?
Yep.
And Doctor Who?
Mm-hmm.
And Superman?
No. Supernatural.
Oh, okay.
I feel like they've died down a little bit, but they're pretty annoying. I mean, the thing with annoying fandoms is it's usually when it's, like, in my experience, it's usually a source that is pretty decent on its own, but it tends to, I guess, a lot of its fan base is like, what? I was in first.
Well, that's why that blue shell hit you.
I wasn't in first.
Oh, okay.
I guess I was first. I guess the person who was in first had already crossed the line, so
Yeah.
I was first who had gone. I was robbed.
You were robbed.
Anyway, I feel like a lot of obnoxious fandoms, the source material is usually fine. Like a lot of annoying fandoms, I know they're annoying because I am in the fandom.
Right.
but like a lot of times the fandom will consist of several like preteen type maturity level people.
This is a good.
Who,
this is an important distinction because,
well, like, you know, it's that, like, in Japan they even have a term for when a person who is in that mindset of, like, they call it like 8th grader syndrome or something, where it's when you're around that age and you were going through that phase where you like a thing too much and don't shut up about it, and you think, like, you have this idea that you're really cool because you like this thing and it's the best thing ever, and to the point where you might even attack other people for not liking it.
Sure.
And in America we call that, what are you, 12? But I feel like a lot of fandoms, like, I feel like Hitalia, Undertale, Super Hulock, to name a few.
So, okay, can I just ask really quick? Why is it just called Super Hulock? Did they get lumped into just one big category?
It's because a lot of the fans like all three of the things, so they tended to do a lot of, like, crossover type things, like fan stuff.
I'm definitely never watching Supernatural then.
But I feel like a lot of them started out liking one or two of the fandoms, and then just through, like, fandom culture ended up getting into the third, and then because of that there were a lot of, like, crossover things, and there was, like, all these really embarrassing posts where people, oh, it's so cringy, it'd be like something like, oh, if you don't like, if you think, you know, something such and such is dumb, we're gonna come get you. Was like, we know how to travel through time and
solve mysteries
and
do whatever they do on Supernatural.
Yeah, and it's just like, stop.
And of course, by, you know, the Sherlock, it is the fucking Stephen Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Joint, right?
And then they, like, thought that Super Hulock was, like, the ultimate crossover, and all the characters would be really cool together. And, like, I don't hate crossovers, but it got to the point where it was like, stop. Please stop.
Is Supernatural a British show as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
Supernatural is on the CW.
Gotcha.
I actually like Supernatural.
Right.
Like, I don't hate any of the fandoms themselves. It's just, you know, it's that, you know, some of the fans are going. The materials themselves are fine. Like, I don't love Doctor Who, but I don't dislike it. I think it's alright. I did like Supernatural. I'm not super into it anymore. I still like it enough to occasionally see what's going on still. But I was really into it in college.
Gotcha.
Ow. And then Sherlock, I liked, but then also with the long hiatus, I, like, didn't care after that.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so I think they've kind of died down, partly because it became such a, like, I feel a little bad because, like, they were really annoying, but then a lot of other people, there was a lot of backlash because of it. And I feel like maybe that, on one hand, it's kind of good that they died down because they were annoying, but on the other hand, I do wonder if, like, it ruined some people's days, I guess.
Yeah.
Because some people, you know, it's the internet, so in retaliation, they might have, like, cyberbullied and shit.
Yeah, or in the case of that anime, it's considered retaliation.
Yeah. The Hitalia fandom, I felt, was slightly less cringy. That one definitely felt more immature, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, you kind of got the feeling with Super Hulock that it was mainly mid to older teenagers.
Yeah.
And with Hitalia, it felt like slightly younger
Right.
audiences. And this, I guess the same goes for Undertale.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of weird, because like, when that
hold
happens,
on.
it means there's, you know, it's a big fandom, so there's tons of really great stuff from it.
Chelsea,
But-
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
Uh-huh.
your last comment, I think you're going to have to redact that because we just lost 30 followers.
Oh no. I love Undertale.
So yeah, say Undertale fandom is good now.
It is good. Like, all of them are good in general. It's just that there is a very small but loud niche of them
Yeah.
that, and I think people in the fandoms are the ones who have to deal with them, so they know what I'm
Sure.
talking about.
Completely.
And the sad thing is, a lot of times, because they're so loud compared to the rest of the fandom, it puts people off of that fandom,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks. Ow. Ow.
Oh. Oh. Jesus, everyone got a star but you.
Yeah,
How's that fair, Nintendo? Reggie.
it's not. It's Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's a very serious competitive esport.
Oh, I thought that was the last lap.
No such luck. So would you say that Hetalia is sort of like your least favorite one of all time, and Super Hulock is your current least favorite fandom?
I mean, I wouldn't say Italia is my least favorite of all time.
Oh, well then what the hell beats Hetalia?
Super Hula.
Oh really? Super Hulock is
That's
worse
what I
than
was saying.
Hetalia? Oh, okay. So they're the current worst and your all-time worst?
Yeah, the thing with Italia is, Italia's probably the one I have the most experience in, because Super Hulock, even though I liked the fandoms, I kind of stayed out of that whole thing.
Yeah.
With Hetalia, I was really into it in high school, so I would see a lot of the annoying stuff.
Gotcha.
But that said, also, even though it was really annoying, it was way less, like, I don't know, I guess it was more innocent, because it was more annoying in that when you think of a little kid who's kind of being a pain,
A little kid who's trying to be a grown-up on the internet.
but they're, like, not trying to be mean or anything, they're just
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
Right.
Whereas with Super Hulock, I guess because a lot of them were a little older, it would sometimes get to the point where they would, like, attack other people.
Yeah. With their
Which,
TARDISes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't send people anonymous hate mail just because they don't like your fandom.
Yeah.
It's not cool. And not all the Super Hulock people were like that, of course, but there were definitely some of them, and they were very loud.
They got up pretty early to write that hate mail.
Yep. Oh, I guess another terrible fandom that I was never in at all, because I do hate this original source.
Yeah, this intellectual property.
Yeah. Was,
Harry Potter.
yeah. Not Twilight.
Oh, right. Twilight. Man, I gotta say Twilight was a little bit after my time because I never knew
yeah.
any Twilight fans.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
So I actually did read one of the Twilight books, but I read it before it was popular,
Oh, okay. All right, Chelsea.
but I didn't like it even then. I, like, read it, and I was like, eh. Like, it's not well written, it's not...
It was cool,
Yeah.
and I didn't really get it that
Yeah.
much.
Ultimate hipster.
Yeah.
No, like, it wasn't until it became popular that I even realized it was the same book that I had read like a couple years before then.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay. And at first I didn't care. I was like indifferent to it. It wasn't until the fandom got so obnoxious that I started hating the actual IP.
That's true. I guess the Twilight fandom is technically responsible for 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, proof positive that maybe they are a terrible fandom.
The worst fandom.
Yeah. I don't know if any other fandom has like spawned a terrible like motion picture that is gravely misinformed about BDSM.
Yeah.
So well done. I wish we had a trophy to give out. I think we kind of honed in on it. I think Twilight is the worst fandom.
Yeah.
Until
that's my knee-jerk reaction.
Until Italia makes it so that there's a motion picture where like the American studio that produces it like accidentally misinterprets it and makes like actual Nazis the good guys.
Oh dear.
Twilight has definitely clinched it for worst fandom. Oh yeah. Oh, there's two fucking 50 Shades of Grey movies now. God.
Oh yeah, they made a sequel.
Ugh.
I mean, there are 3 books.
Well, then, yeah.
They shouldn't have done it.
I just am impressed that, I don't know, I guess a lot of people really like it. Somehow.
I actually read an interesting thing where it was, so you know, it started out as a Twilight fanfiction.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And I actually read this really interesting thing someone wrote who was involved in that they were like in the fandom and like read the fic when it was still a fic. And it was, you guys can Google it if you want. It is actually pretty interesting because it was basically, there was some sort of like contest thing.
Yeah.
And the author, I don't remember her name. Anyway, she basically, it was sort of a tight-knit fandom little section, I guess, with her readers. And she encouraged everyone, she like was like, oh, if you like my fic, which by the way, the fic itself, well, you can tell from the book, was terrible and tropey and badly written. And I think the person who wrote this was even saying like she kind of just stole a lot of things from other fics. But she basically was telling her readers like, oh hey, I'm entering my fic in a contest, but I changed the names because, copyright and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But you guys should totally vote for me. And they were like, okay. And I think she even like said like, oh, I love you guys, like sort of I don't think she said she would do anything for them.
Yeah.
But I think she was like, we're a community and we should support each other and blah, blah, blah. So they were all like, okay. And they did that. And because of that, it like got, I think originally it was like on Amazon or something that she self-published. And because of all the votes and stuff, it got put on like the first page.
Yeah.
And because of that, people were like, oh, this is probably good. And the general public doesn't have, well, why Link?
Why?
The best standards, generally speaking. So they're like, oh, this is interesting, and I haven't seen this before because I don't read fan fiction. And it became really popular, and the more popular something gets, the more people are like, oh, it's probably good, I'll give it a try. And that's how it became really popular.
See, there you go. That's just another example of why they need to teach fanfic literacy in schools. So shit like this doesn't happen. Hold on, we're getting a big old beefy post from Integer Parcient.
And I think people who read fan fiction a lot are all sort of bitter that of all the fics to actually become a thing in real life, it was that one. Because there are so many actual well-written, really good fics out there.
Oh, is
and
this...
then that happened.
Is this just excerpts from 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh, crap.
Should I read these out loud?
If you want, I guess.
Okay, here goes. I'm gonna use my best sexy reading voice.
Use your best Gilbert Gottfried voice.
Oh.
Did you know that's a thing?
Gilbert Gottfried reading
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of
Yeah.
Grey. I didn't know that's a thing.
It's pretty funny.
I line up the white ball, and with a swift clean stroke, hit the center ball at the triangle square with such force that the striped ball spins and plunges into the top right pocket. I've scattered the rest of the balls.
What?
Christian.
Are they playing billiards?
Yeah, they're playing like pool or something.
Yeah.
Dr. Green is coming to sort you out, Anna. Why? Christian.
No, my mushrooms!
Because I hate condoms. Anna, it's my body. Christian, it's mine too. Oh, that's cool. Oh, is that... Oh, he just sort of does a sterilize. Oh, that's fine. He said such loving things today, but how long will he want to do this without warning to beat the crap out of me? Wait, beat the crap out of you? Is that the most poetic language you could muster?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, huh? Oh, hell yeah, Baby Park, dude.
Boy.
I guess it's no surprise that the fucking writing in that is as bad as everyone thinks.
Yeah. Also, like, it's very obvious she didn't bother to do any research into actual BDSM.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in that community were, like, really pissed.
Yeah, like, hey, I actually like this. Please stop slandering us.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah! Hell yeah, dude. Baby Park. Finally, some levity for this fucking stream. Who's that mystery man?
It's, the guy from Control-Alt-Delete. Didn't you see?
Yeah.
He's got the same hair.
Oh, God. What would you do, Chelsea, to improve 50 Shades of Grey?
Never write it in the first place?
Okay, but it's already written. So let's say, I don't know the name of the Twilight Fan 69 has the first draft of 50 Shades of Grey and plops it down. She or he? She's hired you to do some edits to it, to like maybe, you know, make it a better story. So what's your plan? How you gonna pull this one off?
I would accidentally delete it.
Chelsea, you're being a bad improviser. Come on,
I don't know
you gotta say yes.
Well, apparently not, according to 50 Shades of Grey.
What?
Like, I don't know how you would improve that without literally just rewriting the entire thing.
Okay. But by rewriting, you clearly, you know, there's an implicit sort of like idea of like what you could rewrite about it to make it better. So like, what's one thing you would rewrite about it?
Do research into how actual BDSM relationships work.
You heard it here, folks. Chelsea would look at porno on the job.
Yeah.
No, that probably makes a lot of sense. Why didn't you go to Cheeseland, you coward?
Hate Cheeseland.
You hate Cheeseland?
Yes.
Well,
Can
good.
never make that first turn.
I'm throwing all of our cheese in the fridge into the garbage. I hope you're happy with your choices. Oh, it looks like Leland ain't here no more.
Aw.
Sad.
Wow.
What?
It's Cheese Land.
Yay! I love it. I'm sorry, Chelsea. Are you really cheesed off?
Yeah.
Cool Mario. What a good name.
What would you do to improve it?
I mean, I agree with you that you should probably research BDSM, but I think even without researching BDSM, you can just know how to make a relationship that like is supposed to be viewed as net positive,
right?
Not just be full of like a lot
abuse.
Of actual abuse.
Yeah.
Inject that story with a little bit fucking consensual sex, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I pretty much agree with you that it's sort of unsalvageable. But for the sake of argument, I think the main problem with it is that it's like turning something like that is terrible into something that is desirable.
Mm-hmm. Never make that first turn.
You can make it. I believe you can someday.
Are we switching topics, or are we?
I mean, we can get out of 50 Shades of Grey if we want. We don't have to talk about 50 Shades of Grey
or
or
really
50
have anything else to talk about.
Shades Darker. Okay. Have you ever played the classic game?
You do it.
You do it. Star Wars. What do you want me to say about Star Wars? I've never seen Star Wars.
Oh, you never seen Star Wars?
I've seen the first three.
Wait, the first three that came out, or the first chronological?
Chronologically, the first three.
So the bad ones?
So the bad ones.
I never super got into Star Wars. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it.
Yeah. All right. Here's the dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my dilemma.
Well, see, Star Wars is now owned by Disney, so of course you haven't seen it.
You're right. Here's the question, the life-changing question. Okay, you have a table.
Uh-huh.
And on that table there are 3 movies. You've got Boss Baby.
Oh.
You've got the Emoji Movie.
Oh.
And you've got Minions.
Oh.
You can remove 2 of those movies from existence.
Mm-hmm.
But the 3rd movie becomes the dominating force in American culture.
Oh, no. I mean, I feel like one of them kind of already is.
Wait, which one?
The Minions.
I
or
guess,
at least it was. I think it's
yeah.
died down now. Thankfully.
The Minion Mania.
Yeah.
So what's your choice?
Oh. I mean, I haven't actually seen any of those.
Right, but I mean, you can fathom.
Yeah. I guess based on like marketing, the Boss Baby seems the least annoying.
Okay, I think I might be inclined to agree with you.
At least Sausage Party wasn't on there.
Well, I mean, Sausage Party isn't, like, really... I don't think that's in the same category as the 3 movies I listed. Those are all, like, kids' movies, right? Sausage Party is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my whole life. Maybe the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I already didn't have any respect for Seth Rogen. Like, after he, like, left Freaks and Geeks to, like, make movies, everything he's been in has been, like, on a sliding scale of, like, mediocre to complete dog shit. And then he's just fucking changed the game of, like, poor quality with Sausage Party. I feel like he needs to go to jail.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's see. A request from C. Dewey wants me to try and describe what happens in Star Wars.
Just from what you know.
Just from what I know from the first 3 movies. So what happens in the second 3 movies, or 4, 5, and 6?
The ones about Anakin.
Well, I mean, like, they are about Darth Vader, and I know that Anakin turns into Darth Vader because he does it. It happens in the movie, and he swivels around and he says no a lot.
No.
Exactly. So, I mean, I do know kind of what happens in Star Wars, so here's what happens in Star Wars. It starts with Luke Skywalker, who's living in a big shithole, I think with his uncle or something. And C-3PO comes down from heaven and says, I have a Tupac hologram for you. And he plays it, and it's like the Princess Leia is like, I need your help, Luke. And Luke's like, okay, I don't want to help. And then he goes to talk to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's like way less handsome now. And Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, you should help Princess Leia. C-3PO is golden, right? I don't know. Is this right like a different color? But they go like, oh, also, I think guys kill Luke's uncle, and so then he's like, well, fuck it. I don't know what color C-3PO is right like his dude. Should I guess? Green. I thought he was just all gold, but whatever. So
metal colored.
So they go to a bar and there's a concert playing there. It goes and they meet Han Solo, and he's a bad boy, played by George Harrison. I mean Harrison Ford. Not famous Beatles member George Harrison.
I would have watched that.
Okay, it's silver. And so there's a big fight about Han Solo shoots a guy, but like also he didn't. It's some sort of like Schrodinger's did Han Solo kill a man? And then Luke is like, let me fly on your boat, and Han Solo's like, nah. And then Han Solo, I think, just changes his mind because Luke bails him out or something. And so they get on the Millennial Falcon. And they fly all around, and Obi-Wan Kenobi teaches Luke Skywalker how to be a Jedi. And use the Force. And then they go on the Death Star, and they get caught in the garbage, and they find the princess. And then they go down on a zip line. And then they leave the Death Star, and then they join up with the rebels. Because Princess Leia had like an important message for the rebels, I think. I don't know. And then it's like the plans for the Death Star, and that's how they know to shoot the laser in the Death Star's butt to make it blow up. And so they have a big spaceship fight. And Luke Skywalker is in an X-Wing, and he gets to the exhaust pipe, and like, it's like, oh, he's like, oh man, it's a tough shot. How am I ever gonna make such a tough shot? I don't have that kind of accuracy. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's a ghost now, he died. Says, use the Force, Luke. And then he closes his eyes and believes in the power of friendship, and he shoots a laser in the hole, and it blows up the Death Star.
I didn't know Star Wars was an anime.
Yeah, no, it completely is.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. Did you want me to try and do the second, and the fifth, and the sixth one, or are you good?
Just do the new one.
The new one? Okay. The new one I really don't know anything about. There's a guy, like, he's dressed up as a stormtrooper. I'm not gonna explain the movie. I'm just gonna probably explain the trailer. There's a robot who rolls around at the speed of sound. There's a strong lady who's good at fights. And the boyfriend from Girls is the bad guy. Yep. And
it's okay. You already described the movie because it's just the first one.
Oh,
again.
Okay.
But better.
Oh, it's better than the first one.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm sure if you have nostalgia going for you, you'd probably think the first one was better.
Yeah.
But I don't have nostalgia going for me.
Right.
So, to me, it felt like The Force Awakens was just A New Hope, but with better graphics and a slightly better story.
Right.
And
instead of being directed by George Lucas, it was directed by George Lucas's IP, J.J. Binks.
Yeah. And, like, I liked the characters a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh.
I mean, the thing with Star Wars is it's kind of like it's like this classic Western in terms of its narrative. It's like, oh, guy starts out in a town, but he feels like an outsider. And then there's a call to adventure. And then he has to decide if he wants to stay where he's safe or, you know, go out and, like, do the thing. And it's like, and then there's, like, a guy who's sort of the rough and tough-em guy. And it's sort of like the classic narrative for the Western plus the classic narrative for just the hero's journey.
Gotcha. The interested parsing would say that without nostalgia, they are totally different movies with really similar tropes. And the original is a better movie with worse acting.
Yeah, I could definitely see the argument that the newer one is more Hollywood blockbuster, but that's also just because of the times they came out. Like, the thing is, like, you know, with the original, if you watch it now, it sort of set up a lot of the tropes that are, like, you know, you're like, oh, I've seen that a million times. And you kind of have to give it credit for being, I guess, one of the first ones to do some of the tropes.
Yeah.
But if you're watching it for the first time, like, now, you probably wouldn't be that impressed.
Right.
Like, I didn't watch Star Wars until, I think, high school. So I didn't really have any nostalgia going for me. And I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really get the big deal.
I think maybe it's like akin to like sort of comparing Earthbound to Undertale.
Yeah, probably.
Like, you have to give Earthbound a lot of credit for like establishing and codifying a lot of ideas that show up in like Undertale. But Undertale is like just a better designed game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've never seen the Goonies either. which my brother hates because my brother loves the Goonies.
Oh, I didn't know if you meant he hates that you haven't seen it or he hates the Goonies.
No, he hates that I haven't seen the Goonies.
I saw the Goonies when I was little, but I don't remember very much of it. I was pretty young.
I never saw the Goonies, but I did play the NES game The Goonies, which didn't really, you know, elucidate or enlighten me to any of the things that happened in the Goonies.
Yeah. Did you see Jumanji?
I did see Jumanji, but when I was a full-on adult, like when I was 24, I saw Jumanji.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw that as a child. I don't know how I feel about the new one.
They're making a new one?
Yeah, you haven't seen the trailers?
No.
Yeah, they're making a reboot. And as far as reboots go, it looks alright.
Okay.
Because they're sort of putting a new spin on it.
Yeah.
Because like the original one, you know, it was like the kids find a board game and it comes to life. In the new one, they find like a really old... I don't know if it's supposed to be making fun of like an Atari or an old Nintendo or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they're like cleaning out a storage room for detention or something. And they find this really old video game system.
Yeah.
And they decide to fuck around with it because, you know, they don't want to do work.
Right.
And the video game sucks them into it.
Hell yeah.
And so the kids are actually, like, when they're kids, they're obviously played by, like, teenage or young adult actors. Mm-hmm. And then when they're in the actual one, they're played by, like, The Rock.
No, hell yeah.
And, like, Jack Black. And, like, the girl who in the high school was the, like, popular girl. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, I'm gonna be this, like, researcher chick. And I'm real hot. And then it turns out that it's Jack Black. So Jack Black is playing a character who's supposed to be mentally a teenage girl.
Oh boy.
So it sounds like it could be good, but it also could be bad. We'll just have to wait and see.
Man, Chelsea, we really gotta watch the Super Mario movie.
Oh. Okay.
It's so... I don't know how to tell you how good it is. It's my favorite terrible movie.
Okay.
I've never seen a movie where, like, people aren't 100% sure about the source material at all. Like, I mean, to be fair, somebody down the road was like, hey, here's a game where you jump on turtles. Let's try and squeeze a plot out of that one. But goddamn, it's so bad. It's so good bad. I just want to see John Leguizamo drunk.
Ow. 2nd to 8th, huh?
That's how it goes in this crazy Mario Kart world we live in. Oh, be careful. What else is like J.J. Abrams directed besides the new Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Right. Is that it? I mean, obviously
no, he's
not.
done other stuff. I don't super keep up with his work.
Sure.
I feel like he's mainly been doing similar types of things, though.
Yeah. Super 8? Is that train movie?
Isn't that like a superhero type of movie?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I don't know what Fringe is. I've never heard of these movies.
I've heard of them, but I haven't seen them.
I did see the Star Trek movies, but I didn't like them.
It's kind of like E.T.
Oh, okay.
Man, I don't remember. I barely remember anything about E.T. I was so young.
I never seen E.T.
Yeah?
Yeah. I led a deprived childhood.
You just watched Beauty and the Beast a million times, and that was it.
Yeah, I just watched Beauty and the Beast like all the time. Beauty and the Beast was the best possible movie. I didn't see the point in watching any other movies. Oh, he did Cloverfield? Oh, yeah, okay. That's another movie I didn't like.
If we're struggling for a topic, I could talk about the new season of Voltron.
How's the new season of Voltron?
I liked it. The only thing that kind of sucks is that it's only half a season.
Yeah.
I think they're releasing the rest of it in like October, which isn't too bad of a wait. But I kind of wish they just waited and released the entire thing, because it kind of felt like, you know, half of a story.
Yeah.
One thing I have mixed feelings about is the new villain. Do you know the premise of Voltron?
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys getting kitty cats, gotta save the world, and there's almost a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like, so like 10,000 years ago, this alien guy had there's like the Galra Empire, which is this alien race that is trying to control the universe and shit. And the main enemy has been the emperor of that.
Yeah.
They sort of defeated him in the last season. So now the new villain is his son.
Right.
And I like him. I like him more than the previous antagonists so far. But one thing I was a little disappointed with was when they first introduced him, they sort of started to set up this thing where two of the other sort of minion-y bad guys were sort of talking about rumors about him. And they were sort of saying, oh, Prince Lotor, I don't like him. I hear he, like, the planets he conquers, he lets them rule themselves still, and he cares more about people, like, public opinion and, like, you know. And then when he first shows up, he seems to be more like, you know, like, oh, I want our empire to be good, and, like, so far we've run it through fear, but I want to change things, and I want to, you know, make our empire great in a way that, in a way that, you know, not through fear, but through loyalty.
Yeah.
And I thought, I was like, oh, that's interesting. It was kind of like if his backstory was a little bit like if Zuko had not been banished from the Fire Nation. Yeah. And in personality was not a whiny piece of shit in the first season. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It seems like a non-traditional villain, and you'd sort of be like, well, who do I root for, almost, you know? Yeah. But then it turned out that he was just trying to do a publicity thing, and he's actually still kind of evil. So I was a little disappointed with that. Like, and the weird thing is, like, if they hadn't set that up in the beginning, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have known to think that it could have been better.
CJ says it sounds like the plot of Code Geass.
I mean, I guess if Lotor was the main character, it would be like Code Geass, but he's the main antagonist in this new season. Voltron is more like big robot mecha anime, save the galaxy.
With kitty cats.
With space kitties. It's good though. The showrunners for Voltron worked on Avatar, so you can see a lot of the influence from that show. It's not as good as Avatar, but it's still pretty good. I enjoy it. It's got fun characters and a lot of heart. And it's also kind of interesting to sort of research the changes that it's made from the original Voltron. Because I never saw the original Voltron, but out of curiosity I sort of did some research. And I think that sort of thing, like with adaptations, is interesting when it's done well.
Yeah.
Oops.
See, Dewey was just recently rewatching Code Geass. He says it's fucking amazing.
It is! I'm trying to get Clark to watch it.
It looks like trash.
I mean, you have to get used to the clamp art style for sure.
I hate the clamp art style.
It's not as bad as some of the other clamp.
That's not a point in his favor.
I mean, I felt like I got used to the art style, and like the story and the characters more than make up for it. Like, the only two bad things I think about the series are the art style and the gratuitous fan service.
Yeah, there's a lot of anime titties.
Yeah, but like everything else makes up for that shit. It's real good.
Is there a lot of panty shots?
From what I remember, it's not so much panty shots as it is just, you know, the art style with the characters that have super skinny waists and big TNA, and they're just sort of like kind of posed promiscuously a lot.
They're taking a page out of the on playbook.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not great, but at least it's not gratuitous panty shots.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about anime fan service.
One of the things that's kind of funny is, like, it kind of does the weird typical bad anime harem thing where Lelouch has a lot of love interests, but it also kind of subverts them because he doesn't usually care because he's got other shit to deal with. So they're kind of like a handful of girls. They're not like throwing themselves at him, but they definitely like have feelings for him.
Gotcha.
But he like doesn't have time for that shit.
Doesn't have time for harems.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get some tea.
Okay. Can you give me some tea?
Where's your cup?
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if they're technically panty shots. I don't remember if you actually see panties, but there is a lot of weird camera angles that are definitely for fan service that accentuate their curves. On the plus side, though, even though they all have super smoking bods, a lot of them, the female characters do actually also have good personalities, and they actually do shit. They're not just there for fan service. I don't know if there's gonna be a third season. I feel like I hear rumors now and then, but I don't know if anything's actually been confirmed. It's sort of the thing with a lot of really popular shows that have an ending that's sort of ambiguous, where it's like, maybe they could continue it. I do know there was like a movie, I think, or a miniseries or something they made I don't remember what it's called, but I know Suzaku and Lelouch were actually in it. I didn't watch it though. I was going to, but I just never did. But I do know there was some sort of like mini sequel thing. But I don't know if that's what you're talking about or if you mean like an actual continuation. I would like it if there was an actual continuation. Yeah, there was like a spin-off. I was also not interested. It's kind of weird. Sometimes, even though you really like a work, sometimes if there's some sort of spin-off or sequel, but it's not actually with the main characters, you just don't care, you know? Like, that whole, like with the Harry Potter thing, with both the Cursed Child, even if it hadn't been badly written, I still probably wouldn't have cared that much, because I don't super care about the next generation of Harry Potter. If it was about Harry and Hermione and Ron, maybe I would care more. But if it's about new characters, I don't know. This is sort of the same with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Like, I watched it, and I liked it, but it was, meh. It's like, okay, that's nice. It's a nice little jaunt back into the wizarding world, but I'm over it now. Thanks.
Yeah.
You can pass in front of me, I'm doing terribly.
Alright. Which Harry Potter book is your favorite Harry Potter book?
I want to say Prisoner of Azkaban. Just from, like, that was the one I liked the most when I was reading them as a kid. I don't know if I reread them, if I would change my mind.
Gotcha.
What about you?
When I was reading them as a kid/teen, my favorite was probably Order of the Phoenix.
I feel like a lot of people didn't like Order of the Phoenix.
Then go eat a fucking wet blanket.
I feel like a lot of people thought that was the one with annoying, angsty Harry.
They all have that character.
Like, more so than usual, though.
I mean, like,
I think I didn't mind it. And in retrospect, it makes sense because he's like 15 years old and literally has the weight of the world on his shoulders. You could forgive him for being a little bit of a normal angsty teen.
I liked it because it was the first Harry Potter that made Harry Potter feel rebellious. Like, all the other ones previously have been like Harry Potter's like breaking Hogwarts rules, but the whole time like Dumbledore's like, don't break the rules, wink.
Yeah. I get you.
I think Half-Blood Prince was one of my least favorites.
Yeah?
Yeah, my least favorite by far was the Triwizarding Tournament.
Oh, yeah. Ah! Rude.
I thought it was structured really interestingly. Like, I thought the tournament was like a good framing device to dole the plot out. But I gotta say, what actually happened during it was kind of like boring and like, well, not boring, but like, I don't know, felt a little bit uninspired.
I'm not sure which one I liked least. Ah! That was shorter than I thought it was.
I thought Prisoner of Azkaban was pretty great as well.
Yeah.
I think the top three would be fucking Order of the Phoenix, Prisoner of Azkaban, and then Deathly Hallows.
Oops.
Oops. You're dead. Oh my... What the fuck even happened?
That guy ran over my bomb.
You didn't actually like any of the books, did you? But did you read them all? I mean, if you got up to Half-Blood Prince, you must have read most of them.
I'm doing terrible this time.
Yeah.
Ah.
Careful.
Ah!
Oh, classic Waluigi. Nice. You showed that. You showed that piece of crap. Oh, okay. Your favorite movie was Half-Blood Prince? Which movie was your favorite, Chelsea? I mean, there is a right answer.
Still want to say Prisoner of Azkaban.
That's because that is the best one. That is by far the best movie out of the octology.
It's the only one where Harry has hairy hair. He's got hair like in the books in that one.
He has hairy hair?
It's hairy hair. Harry like his name, hairy hair.
Mm-hmm.
Deadly Hallows, Part 1.
Yeah, Harry Potter is played by Billy Crystal. Harry, we have to go into the Chamber of Secrets. Why should a guy like me be doing that? I've got so many other problems right now. I've got to think about my finals. I wish you were Daniel Radcliffe again, Harry Potter. Billy Crystal stole your birthday? What a piece of shit.
How rude.
Do you have this problem where when you watch Little Witch Academy, you can't stop thinking about how it's similar and or different from Harry Potter?
It's not so much I constantly think about it as occasionally they'll do something where I'm like, oh, it's just like Harry Potter.
Yeah. Do you know any birthdays that are the same? Do you share a birthday with any celebrities, Chelsea?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's find out.
Ask the Google.
Yeah, I'll ask the Google.
Ah. didn't expect a blue shell to come for me.
No.
I wasn't in first place.
That happened to you twice now.
I know. Thought a red shell was coming, so I used my thing, and then a blue shell came. What's the best movie you've seen recently?
I haven't seen any good movies.
No? No good movies?
No good movies.
Aw.
I don't remember, like, a movie I've seen recently.
Yeah, we definitely watch more TV than movies nowadays.
Yeah.
I guess it's just because TV gives you more content for your money and you can have more complicated story plots.
Yeah. Also, I like that also TV comes in, like, smaller chunks.
Yeah. Although that said, then you binge watch for like 6 hours.
I haven't done that in such a long time, though.
Really?
Yeah. I like... The most TV I ever watch at a time is, like, maybe 2 Merlins. Like, maybe 2 less than an hour long things. Or, like, frickin' Game of Thrones and then Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, you have the same birthday as Eric Whitaker.
Hooray?
That probably doesn't mean anything to you, but in the music community, that means a lot.
Hooray! Who is that?
Eric Whitaker is a composer for choral ensembles. He's also holds himself like kind of a gigantic douchebag.
Oh.
But that being said, you still can't fuck with like his choral works.
Ah. Tried to use my mushroom to get past that, but it was not successful. Oh, you saw Valerian? Was it good? I don't know anything about Valerian except it's based on like a graphic novel and it's in space.
You have the same birthday as Winry's Japanese voice actress.
That's neat. I think my favorite movie that I've seen recently was the new Spider-Man. It was real good. You kinda loved it? Nice. Yeah, it looked interesting. I just couldn't tell from the trailer if it was like gonna be sort of another big visuals but not much story, or if it would have, you know, if it would surprise me. But I highly recommend, if you're a superhero fan and you haven't seen the new Spider-Man, go see the new Spider-Man. It's by far my favorite version of the Spider-Man movies. Oh, the story was really basic. Yeah, I kind of got the feeling looking at the trailer. It's sort of like, just from the trailer, I got the feeling that it was sort of all really nice visuals and probably clever like world building and sort of, I don't know, maybe the thing that comes to mind is James Cameron's Avatar, which like looks really pretty, but once you get past that, it's kind of just You think he gave up on making a new Avatar and is just like trying to not talk about it so people will eventually forget?
Yes. Yeah, the same birthday as Kenny Loggins.
Hooray? Is that good?
I don't know. Is it bad?
I don't know. Ow.
Oh fuck, no way!
What?
I got the same birthday as Nicolas Cage. Hell yeah! Motherfucker. It was the best day of my life.
Ow. So many red shells! It's like a shittier Fifth Element, but with better graphics. Valerian.
That's a really good way to put it.
Never seen the Fifth Element.
Me neither, but I heard it's great.
Yeah. That's the one with like the alien opera singer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom's definitely my favorite Spider-Man too.
I wish there was a way to like filter out baseball and football players. Because I don't care if we have the same birthday.
It was J.K. Rowling's birthday last week.
What?
On the July 31st.
Wait, that's her birthday too?
Yep, Harry's birthday is her birthday.
Harry Potter is self-insert character.
Confirmed.
He'll be the chosen boy, and he'll have the same birthday as my birthday, and then he will be secretly me.
I read this one thing. I don't know if it's true because I've never read Jane Austen.
You never read Jane Austen?
No.
Not even from like high school?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It was never required. But it was talking about how like this character, she will be perfect and everyone will love her. And when the main character has trouble, she will go to this character and they will solve her problems and And it's like all this stuff. It's like, and I will name her Jane. And I don't know if that's true, but
It's a good question. Yeah, I remember the main girl of Pride and Prejudice. Her name was Elizabeth, if I recall correctly. Which is the only Jane Austen I've ever read was Pride and Prejudice. I don't think Pride and Prejudice is a novel that is like easy for like a 16-year-old boy to get into. So I kind of struggled through it and didn't really enjoy myself.
right.
I wonder if like if I reread it, if I'd like it better. But yeah,
Link, why?
I think Jane is like the main character's sister.
Yeah. I mean, judging by that post, that was what I figured.
Yeah.
It was like all the men will love her, but she will something.
She only has eyes for Mr. Bingley,
Yeah.
which is a really good name. Mr. Bingley. I'm just British as hell, Mr. Bingley. And I love you. Mr. Darcy definitely seems like a 19th century Marty Stew,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Gary Stu.
Yeah, Gary Stew. But this is... Okay.
It's the term.
He always, like, the things that his character, like, you know, immediately comes off as, like, off-putting and rude. And, like, seemingly, like, a little bit amoral. And, you know, the main character, Liz, is, like, a little tsundere for him. But then by the time the novel is over, you find out that all the times he was bad, he was actually just being good. And you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Which...
Sounds like Jane Austen was a fucking weeb.
Yeah, it sounds like Jane Austen kind of fucking sucked.
That's such a trope in like shoujo manga. Like the guy who seems to be like a jerk, but then you find out he was doing it all along because he cared in some weird twisted logic.
Reminds me of the opening bit in Osomatsu-san, where they're in alternate reality, basically Oron High School.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ichimaru is like being a complete off-putting dick, but then he saves a tiny kitty cat from an oncoming car. Oh, I wish they would make more Osomatsu so bad.
That's like the go-to easiest way to make a jerk character seem sympathetic is have them be nice to animals or children.
Yeah.
And then they're not really a jerk.
Secretly, they're super nice.
You just need to dig deeper. And then they'll pet you on the head just like he pet that kitty cat.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about character tropes.
Okay. We can talk about character tropes via the lens of my favorite parody anime, Osomatsu-san. I guess there's not actually a lot of great character tropes, really. I mean, they're more like character tropes gone horribly wrong. But let's talk about character tropes. What character tropes should we talk about? And on the last episode of Mario Kart Monday, we did touch a little bit on the Mary Sue.
True.
Or the Garth Drew.
Well, this is one thing I'm kind of thinking of, which isn't really a character trope, but kind of ties into what we've been talking about a little bit, is the trope of, like, the trio of heroes.
Okay.
Because I feel like whenever you have, like, 3 main characters, they usually fall into, like, the leader, the funny one, and the smart one.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter. Harry's the leader, Hermione's the smart one, Ron's
the comic
relief. If you do Steven Universe with just the main 3 crystal gems, Pearl's the smart one, Garnet's the leader, Amethyst the funny one.
Yeah.
Danny Phantom, Danny's the leader, Tucker's the comic relief, Sam's the smart one. They're kind of all smart.
Any of those people are.
Yeah. But I feel like there are some, like, variances, of course. But I feel like, generally speaking, most protagonist trios fit into that.
Well, what else
is
is a trio?
It's kind of an interesting trope. There's also... Like, there are a million of them.
There's,
I was thinking Justice League, but Justice League is another one that, if you were, like, really broadly speaking, you could try to fit them into those categories, but I wouldn't really consider Batman or Wonder Woman to be comic relief. And both of them are pretty smart. I don't know if I'd really classify that as a typical trio, though, because they're kind of their own main characters and their own things, and it's only occasionally that they team up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more the actual main story has a trio of protagonists, and it's usually the hero and the 2 sidekicks. And it's in that case that they usually follow into that trope.
Oh, there's Powerpuff Girls as 3 heroes.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't really fall into those categories, though.
Yeah, Blossom's kind of the leader and the smart one.
Yeah. Bubbles is sort of the comic relief, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Buttercup is gonna kick you in the butt.
Yeah. I guess the other group protagonist trope is when it's like a Sentai sort of thing and there are like 5 main characters.
Oh, yeah?
Or 5 or 6 or whatever.
When it's 5, it's like there's the leader, the like strong guy, who's usually like kind of like strong but silent. There's the smart guy. There's like the frenemy.
Yeah, the rival.
Yeah. And then there's, I don't know who the 5th one is. And then there's the girl.
Yeah, that's the 5th one.
That doesn't seem like a character.
Yeah,
What usually
that's the problem.
What usually characterizes the girl? Is it just like the 5th character is a girl, and then any number of like character tropes can apply to her? Or is the girl character always sort of the same character?
I mean, if we're talking like older sort of ones.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
I feel like things have gotten better in terms of that. Not bad. I feel like because people have been getting more PC and stuff, there are usually at least 2 girls on the team now, and they usually fit more into the actual character tropes of like the classic character tropes instead of just they're the girl.
Yo, I thought of a hero trio actually. A main character hero trio. Naruto. But it doesn't actually fit the thing really. Because you got the leader, Naruto.
And he is the comic
also the comic relief.
Yeah. And then I guess from what I know, Sakura's the smart one.
Sakura's like the smart one, and then you've got Sasuke, who's the broody bad boy.
Sasuke didn't want to be comic relief, so Naruto had to be both.
Yeah, Sasuke wanted to wear his fucking his ninja cargo shorts and like sit in the corner and do this a lot.
Yeah. He watched a lot of Ava, and he really liked Shinji's dad.
Yeah, he wanted to do fucking Gendo hands. Oh, okay, yeah, Luke, Han, and Leia.
Yeah, Luke's the leader, Han's sort of the comic relief in his shenanigans, and Leia's the smart one.
Yeah. I mean, Han is like snarky.
Yeah.
So that's a just different kind of comedy.
Voltron kind of follows the 5-character trope. Although the new season's kind of turning it on its head because there's been a shift in like roles.
Yeah.
Because like the guy who was the leader went missing, so then the character who's sort of like the hothead, always ready to fight, is what became the new leader. And it's kind of great because he's like obvious. He's the hothead. He like even says in the thing like I'm not like I'm the loner type who goes off and goes to fight the guys without everybody waiting for everybody. And so as you might imagine, he like crap. He is not a great commander at first.
Fucking slam dunk C-Dewey, you're right. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Jar Jar Binks fit that to a T. Except, I don't know, Qui-Gon is like the leader and supposedly the smart one. Obi-Wan is just more like the fucking greenhorn. And Jar Jar Binks is a racist cartoon rabbit. Which, I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of other trios that have that trope in it. There's also like the trope for when you have a foursome that they resemble like the old Greek personalities.
Yeah. The muses, or
like sanguine, choleric, fucking, god damn it, melancholic. When there's a fourth one, I can't remember what it is. Well, the only time I can ever remember like a quad squad that ever applies to is the Nanjo Turtles. Oh, hey, you know what actually is a good example of the classic trio? Samurai Pizza Cats.
Yeah, that's true, C-Dewey. 2 guys and 1 girl trio is popular.
Yeah.
Because of freaking love triangle bullshit.
Yeah, Ash, Brock, and Misty are pretty classic trio. Ash is the leader, Brock is the fucking comic relief, and Misty is the one who knows about Pokemon, actually. I guess Brock knows about Pokemon, but Brock knows way more about Pokemon fucking. When you're a kid, you don't realize this, because you're like innocent, and when Brock talks about breeding, You're like how they make new puppies. And then you grow up and you're like, Brock is trying to like fucking do some Pokemon husbandry, and it's weirding me out. But, like, Pokemon's a little bit weird. Because, like, Nintendo, being the company that it is, tries really hard to not let the difficulties of everyday life get involved in its lore. For example, Pokemon recently, like, in the newest sort of, like, Pokemon Creativity Bible that's in Nintendo, it's like, just don't talk about food in Pokemon. If anybody wonders where meat comes from, just don't talk about it. Which is weird and kind of sinister.
Yeah.
But because they've, you know...
Oh yeah, they don't have regular animals.
Yeah, there's no
right?
regular animals in Pokemon. But it for a certain period of time, in like Pokemon official publications, like, you know, the anime and the manga, fucking people and Pokemon would eat meat. And now they don't. Because now that there's no animals, obviously Pokemon eat other Pokemon. What's a trope for a villain trio?
I mean, I feel like usually villains are like one guy and maybe minions.
Yeah. Anytime, like, it seems like they're so the only times I feel like there are multiple villains of, like, equitable status are, usually, like, in either a pair or, like, a group of 5 as sort of some sort of anti-Sentai.
Right.
Although, there are definitely villain trios, because I just remembered that, like, there's a big villain trio in Persona 3. But I don't know how to explain, like, their tropes. Like, I know what their tropes are, but I don't think their tropes carry across, like, into any other thing, necessarily.
Right.
In Persona 3, you've got, like, a leader, like the evil leader, the evil genius, and then, like, sort of the... what, like, more or less amounts to a witch.
I feel like there are more tropes with, like, henchmen-type characters than there are with actual antagonists.
Right.
And it's kind of funny, like, they might actually be similar, or at least parallel to, the hero trope. Because a lot of times henchmen will have, like, be 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yeah, like, Team Rocket's a trio, but, like, they don't have, like... They don't each have an individual trope, really. Their trope is that they're all, like, bad at their job.
I guess you could kind of argue that maybe Jesse is the relatively smart one, and James is the funny one because he's always doing wacky shit. And
so that would leave Meowth as the leader.
There's no leader.
No, I think Meowth is the one calling the shots.
Yeah. Brain and 2 buttons. That makes sense. Just gotta go on to TV tropes and then waste away like 3 hours.
Brain and 2 buffoons.
Oh yeah. I couldn't see it from here.
Yeah. Oh.
You kind of have that in Lion King with Whoopi Goldberg and the other 2 hyenas.
Yeah.
She's like the competent one, and then the other 2 are more comic relief.
I think that's kind of in... Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Azula,
Kylie,
and May.
yeah, I was thinking that too.
That one actually fits pretty well, the, like, leader, comic relief, and smart one. I think you could make a good point, or, like, a good case for either Meowth or Jesse being the leader. Obviously, James is the fucking goof. goof off.
Yeah.
But like Meowth is always like is always fucking picking on his human owners. He's always calling them numbskulls and like dipshits. And they kind of just take it. Speaking of Avatar, Team Avatar is a squad of 5.
Mm-hmm. I guess it started out as a trio.
Yeah.
And kind of fits.
Yeah, I think it sort of works as like sort of a Sentai. You've got Aang is the main character, the leader. Sort of like the hot-headed frenemy is Zuko.
Yep.
The brains is Katara. The brawn is Toph, and the girl is Sokka.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Solved it.
Figured it out.
Never make that shortcut.
Yeah, and when they start as a trio, I guess like Sokka is the comic relief and Katara is the smart one.
Yeah.
I think like later
Sokka becomes the smart one?
No. They try and make it look like Sokka's the smart one. But I don't agree.
He becomes smarter.
Sure. As one would hope.
Yeah, he becomes more tactical minded.
Yeah, he's like more tactical minded, but like he never stops being a doofus.
Yeah. I'll probably wrap up pretty soon.
Okay.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't want to talk about anything ever again.
No. Okay.
What about the Bad Avatar show? Is that 5 people? No, it's only 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only 4.
No, you got Pabu.
Oh yeah.
So it's not 5, so they don't really fall into like a Sentai. But they do have like pretty specific tropes.
Yeah.
But like not really.
Yeah.
Cause like you've got
bland.
Right. Well, Bolin is like the goof off.
Mako is like the broody McBrooderson.
Yeah, Mako is a broodman. And the muscle and the leader is Korra.
Yeah.
And then Asami is the girl.
And the smart one.
Oh yeah, and she's smart. See, I forgot, because everybody's character is not characterized good. I think you could make an argument that Mako is also smart. Or the show wants you to think he's smart, is what I mean to say, because he's like supposed to be a detective. He solves the mystery.
I guess.
It's just that fucking ANCAP dipshit. God, what the fuck is that? Julie do the thing guy's name?
Oh, Varric?
Yeah, Varric fucking frames him for shit.
Yeah. Ow. Well. Optimus doesn't really follow any because those are 2
it's a duo.
characters. I guess you've got the hothead and the more calm.
Yeah, isn't that like
logical? Because like,
isn't that?
I feel like usually with duos, it's like a hot-headed, brawny one, like, I fight with my instincts and my muscles, or something like that. And then the more intellectual wait and see before you go in, like, gentler type.
Isn't when you have like a duo and like one's like sort of very passionate and the other one's like sort of more reserved, it's like a red and blue personality?
Yeah, I think so. With Ed and Al, it's like they're both super smart, but their personality is like Ed's more hot-headed and Al's more patient. It's actually very similar in Supernatural, because that one also follows two brothers, and they kind of are similar in personality traits. Because Dean is more of the, sort of the hot-headed, goes more on instinct than anything else, and will kick your ass. And Sam is more of the bookish, kind of do the research and figure out a plan first.
Super Mario Odyssey doesn't come out until October. To answer your question, C. Dewey. I think coming out this week is, isn't it Super Mario Rabbids or something?
Oh, is that coming out?
Or not this week, but this month.
Are you gonna get it?
Yeah.
You like XCOM?
I love
games,
XCOM, but I hate
like Mario.
But I hate Rabbids. I don't. Why, Ubisoft? You piece of shit! You motherfuckers! Why did you make Rabbids? They're so bad. Nobody likes them. They're ugly and they're bad. They aren't funny.
They're the minions of video games.
They are the minions of video games. That's exactly what they are.
At least they're not on all the merchandise everywhere.
I mean, yeah, because fucking nobody cares. Because here's why. Because, like, minions are just Twinkies with eyeballs. And, like, that's inoffensive. Rabbids are, like, these nasty little guys with, like, these, like, fucking Homer Simpson's mouth on them. And then also these, like, gross little, like, dumbass tusks. I look at them and I'm, like, disgusted. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to play a game where I have to look at them the whole game. I'm going to, like, wait to see and find out if there's a way to have a team of no minions. I mean, fucking Rabbids.
Same thing.
Yeah. Before I can get the game.
Like, the gameplay looks good.
It looks really good.
Like, I'm not interested because I'm not really into that sort of tactical turn-based combat. But for someone who is, I would imagine, like, I saw a lot of people saying it looked kind of like XCOM, but with slightly, like, better, like, not as much of the annoying bits that are in XCOM. I don't know enough about XCOM to remember what they were talking about.
I feel like those people are bad at XCOM.
I mean, I feel like they were talking about, like, waiting or something. I don't remember.
It sounds like it's like XCOM, but without the macro game. Without the, like, sort of economic management part. But its problem's got Rabbids in it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's a lot of games that I'll forgive their visual design if it's really fun. But, like, none of those games' visual design is Rabbids. It would be really good if, like, maybe somebody could get on that day one purchase, get on that modding scene, and just mod out the Rabbids, replace them with, like, toads or something.
last few minutes, do you wanna talk about Extra Life? It's coming
Extra
up.
Life's in November. Come and watch it in November, please. We're gonna do kind of like last time, where we'll play a bunch of different games. We're toying with like a lot of different ideas. We're gonna try and get like a Jackbox thing together.
Yeah, if we can get some people over at the same time.
I also thought it would be fun, like, to sort of, you know how we tried to do like parallels both nights. If one night we did like a Jackbox night with friends over, and then the other night we did like Mario Party with friends over.
That could be fun, and everyone in my group disappeared.
Oh no.
Oh my.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Oh shit. Yeah. I mean, get on out here. I don't know what else we have planned. Did we talk? I know we talked about like last time we're gonna like have probably 2 or 3 hour segments dedicated to like playing
a longer game like
in full.
So if you didn't watch our Extra Life last year, what we basically did was we had a schedule so that people, if they were interested in a particular game, could tune in whenever they wanted. Because if you don't know Extra Life, you do 24 hours of streaming. So we would do like 1 or 2 hours of a game, usually games that like didn't have any plot or anything, like Splatoon, or I did Mario Kart. We did Binding of Isaac, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then we did 12 hours one day and 12 hours the other day. And on Saturday, I think I played the first Portal game, which is like 3 hours long, and then you played Shovel Knight the next day.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about doing something similar again.
Right.
I was thinking about maybe trying the platformer VV. I don't know if it's pronounced VVV, or is it like
I think it's pronounced VVV.
Yeah. But
are you gonna speedrun it, Chelsea? You're gonna beat it in 15 minutes.
Oh. Well, that would defeat the purpose, wouldn't it?
I know. I just think it's funny. I was watching a speedrun of all of VVV the other day, and the dude beat it in like 14 minutes.
Oh man. No, the only reason I was thinking about not doing that is because I might get stuck and then just not finish it in time. Oops.
I could probably beat Catherine in well under 3 hours.
The whole game?
The whole game, yeah. The only problem is that it wouldn't be a good playthrough of it because it would involve a lot of like skipping all the dialogue.
Oh, you would just like do all the box
all the box puzzles. Because we played it last time. Also, speaking of last time, I was actually very disappointed how the Mario Maker segment went.
Oh yeah.
I wish that we had gotten like any viewer submissions.
Yeah.
But I don't think like we'll get any if we do it again. Mostly because
Are people still doing Mario Maker a lot?
I don't know. I just really like that game, Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's the funniest game that's been made. It's the best comedy game.
Okay, one more. Yeah. I never think about doing like some of the ones we did last time just because we really like them, like Binding of Isaac and Splatoon, which is a staple of our channel anyway.
Right.
If anyone has suggestions for stuff, shoot them our way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I wanted to kind of do VVV is like I'm not really into or good at platformers, but the way VVV whatever is
6 Vs.
Yeah. Is set up is a little different because it's like you switch them, right?
You switch the direction of gravity,
which is a little, I guess to me, makes a little more sense to me than trying to jump on stuff.
So, switching
Yeah.
the direction of gravity makes more sense to you
Yeah.
than jumping, a thing you can do in real life.
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know, I'm not good at timing and judging jumps and platformers, but with the gravity thing, I'm not quite as bad at it.
Play some weeaboo shit. Well, 2 extra lives ago, back before Master Questers, I played Long Live the Queen, which is very weeaboo.
We'll just play all the Personas.
That's impossible. There's no way we'll be able to
We'll
finish.
speedrun it.
Like, I don't know, dude. Even if you, like, fucking just burn through all the dialogue as fast as you can, I don't think you can, like, get through Persona that fast. I don't know. You know what? I'll look at, like, Speed Demon's archive and see if anyone's speedrun Persona and see what the times on that are like.
Extra waifu.
Oh, yeah.
We did jokingly think about doing just
24 hours of dating sims and calling it extra waifu. It's like a really funny pun.
But it probably wouldn't be worth the joke.
Yeah. Shin Megami Tensei. Those games tend to be pretty long. I would honestly hazard a guess that the reason Persona games are longer than SMT games is because of all the dialogue and socializing. And if you cut all that out, Persona games would be way shorter than SMT. There's like just not an SMT game, I don't think, that would last less than 3 hours. Like, even like speedruns of like Chrono Trigger and Earthbound, which are like, since they're SNES RPGs, can be like blown through pretty fast if you know what you're doing, are like 4-hour runs. I think like if a JRPG that might be runnable in 3 hours, and this is a big maybe, would be like Mario RPG. Just because it's like so simple and like stripped down.
Are we ever gonna go back to Paper Mario?
Yeah, maybe someday. I'd like to, but we've just got so much stuff on the docket.
Okay, guys.
Alright.
That's gonna be it for the night. Thanks to everyone for coming and watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for chatting.
Join us next week for more discussions of weird shit.
Hopefully next week we'll talk about sexy Dungeons and Dragons. Bye.
Bye.